This is the 533 Tiny Trainer. It's just an awesome little micro, basically a toothpick style drone. It uses the same type, like powertrain as a toothpick, but it's obviously made to look a little bit like the Racer 4, and it is just adorable. I've actually got a Racer 4 here for you to take a look at alongside. Holy cow, that thing is so big. You can tell that they're very similar in their shape and look, and like, you know, obviously that was a very intentional decision. But what's cool is that they kind of have a similar profile for like how they fly, because the prop level, like where the prop swings across the camera, is very similar on both of them. So like the perspective that you get out of the camera when you're flying at FPV is very similar between the Racer 4 and the Tiny Trainer, and that's one of the reasons that I really like it. I've flown this a good bit. You can see dinged up these props and gotten them into a little bit of mud, and I've added a little bit of hot glue there, which you'll have to forgive, which was for some camera mounting situations, so maybe we'll be able to get that off. But the Tiny Trainer is just, it's kind of half novelty, but it's also a performance machine. I mean, this thing moves. Like with this powertrain, it's quick, and like the stance of the camera is something that I personally really like. It's not for everybody, and having the camera stance there makes it fly really, really locked in. It's kind of got that carved kind of feeling to it. So what I'd love to do today is just do a quick teardown on the whole thing, kind of show you what components can go into it, why it would be fun to build, and then we'll get a little bit of flying in. So let's take a look. First off, let's get these props off. They're they're T-mount props. HQ makes a version, and GemFan makes a version of them. I've got links in the description for all of the parts that are on this machine, including the frame itself. You can buy it as a kit, and I think that they're maybe planning on doing a bind and fly version, but you never know if that'll happen. Just because that it might be kind of prohibitively expensive to like have them build it and then sell it to you. There's probably a pretty good markup on that cost, but if that's something that you're interested in, you can do that. Ooh, boy, it'll take a while to get all these off. So I kind of do and don't like the T-mount props at the same time. Like it saves a bunch of weight. You don't need the big prop nut to get it on and off, but then you also need to have this, 1.5 mil driver around, and these the 1.5 mil are pretty easy to strip out, I think. So it's a give and take on that, but that's pretty standard for toothpick style drones. Again, like that's kind of what space this is trying to play in, is basically a toothpick. They recommend two different versions, one by HQ and one by GemFan. These are the GemFan ones, I believe. But both are solid props. They're essentially 3-inch props, but they're much smaller than your usual 3-inch prop, so that they fit on the toothpick style, so that you're able to get those that really, really high RPM and response rate that you need to fly a smaller drone like this. So it's even got this little turtle fin back here in the back, which is just so funny. And now this whole top piece, without that hot glue, pops right off. That's so cool. You just got like that's the Tiny Trainer top piece there, and then there's the Racer 4 top plate. It's so funny. And you can kind of look at the insides of one or the other. It's pretty cool. So on these ones, you get this giant little LED panel here in the back, which is just perfect because obviously the Racer 4 has tons of LEDs built into it. So it's fun to have those on board as well. So this is just a little 3D printed piece that's sitting on top of the standoffs in the back. Like I said, I put that hot glue in there earlier. And you've got this plate that you can mount that LED to, and then it's also an antenna holder for your VTX, which is pretty sweet. And then out the back here, you've also got this is your Crossfire micro receiver. As well as the micro ultra high frequency Crossfire antenna. So we'll slap that back down on top. I'm gonna pop this off. Take off the SMA. Push that over there. It's even got its own little baby capacitor. Oh, it's so cute. So it's even like that's got a full little antenna mount for your micro crossfire. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I don't know if I have a nut driver small enough for these guys. I just want to get all the way down to the ESC so you can see that. So for FC and VTX and ESC, we have the Flywoo Goku ESC. So this guy has 1, 2, 3, 4 LEDs right there that kind of push their colors out into the arms. Then you got this little baby capacitor with an XT30 connector coming off the back. And then up on the front, you've got your wiring for, this is the VTX plate actually that comes with it. Is that right? Yeah, so this is the VTX plate that comes with the Goku that mounts with it like this on the back. So there's a, you can see that there's like nylon standoffs here that are coming off of the ESC, and then this whole plate with the VTX mounts on top of that, and then you screw in the nuts on top of that. If I could just get this, man, I'm struggle busing. And then that will be kind of the sandwich there in place, which is pretty cool. And then your receiver unfortunately has to wire to the front of the FC, which is way up there kind of underneath the camera, and then the camera wires into the FC as well, and then all of the motors wire directly into that FC, which is pretty cool. You got the LED is kind of wired in there on the bottom. Camera goes across, like it's kind of like, it feels like it could almost be reversed from where it is to save on a little bit of wire and stuff, but you know what, it's still such a sexy build despite all that. So you can put your VTX back in place. So we'll run the make sure that all those wires are coming through out underneath, so it's all kind of sandwiched in place. So that's all in place. Then the next thing that went in was the receiver, which is just kind of floating down there. But that's okay because we've got the whole canopy over top of it. So push that down into place with the antenna. Power line coming out the bottom. Then the antenna for the VTX goes into this little piece here and plugs onto the VTX board with the UFL. And then this whole thing mounts over top of that top bit. There's even a little hole right there you can see for it to mount straight onto the same stack as the VTX. That's nice and clean. I actually really like that. Then your top plate or top body goes over top of that. Oh, it's so clean. And then you've got just 4 screws. And now we put the T-mount props on, which now I'm not remembering if they were props in or props out. Props out. Okay, good to know. Cool beans. Then the batteries are able to just barely fit in this little pouch here on the bottom, and then they plug in and you're ready to fly. So let's get some of these packs charged up and go find a spot to let her rip. Just charging up the last little bit. I've got my Insta360 Go affiliate link in the description. These things are amazing, and they can now record for 5 minutes. So you have 1080p super stabilized on a toothpick sized drone. We're charging up the last of the packs, so then we're going to stuff everything in a bag, jump on the skateboard, and head over to a park to fly. All right, we've cruised over to what I call Church A. I had a couple other spots I wanted to try, but there were like lots of people out for what is kind of supposed to be sort of locked down. Like there were a lot of people out just chilling, so yeah, that's interesting. But this spot looks good. A little playground. I'm gonna use the buildings here, kind of go up and down this, the playground, all that stuff. So it should be a good little spot to break out the tiny trainer and get it going. Also brought my Insta360 Go. strap it on this little prop GoPro mount. Oh, would help to plug it in. Dang, it moves. Oh no! That pole came out of nowhere. Oh. I just biffed it. Oh my gosh, are you okay, little buddy? This camera's still going. It's not, it's got a scratch now, great. Shoot, I'm gonna make a video about this camera tomorrow. God dang it. We're like 20 seconds into the first battery. That takes some skill. I don't know why you guys watch this channel. Yep. Camera looks to be dead and I got no tools to fix it. Well, crap. Came all the way over here and now we gotta go right back and get it fixed up. 'Cause I got no tool. I just brought this thinking, oh, I'll take it easy and not crash. And what do you know? Instantly smash into a big wooden block. Well, maybe we can do some line of sight with what's left of this battery. All right, let's fix this thing. So I built up this charging setup just for this battery because it's so big. This is the ISDT T8. It does essentially 30 amps at 6 cell, which is like 1/2 C for this thing. No, actually 30 amps would be 1 C for this battery. But the power supply can't quite do that, so I can do at least 19 amps there. This power supply can push out 19 amps. This is from Ready Made RC and the ISDT T8, and then I'm just charging up this battery as fast as I can, but it still takes an eternity. Yeah, so like I had to get a dedicated charger for it because I didn't have anything that could yet charge that much power in a reasonable amount of time. And it's nice because it has a USB port, so I just plug in the controller there while the battery's charging too. And I don't just leave it out here. I usually am working out here when it's charging, so don't worry. Okay, I've got her back together. She's working. Got some video now. But I'm not really feeling like going back out, so I'm just gonna send it right out the window. I just can't seem to nail a decent flight with this tonight. But, I mean, you have a good sense of, like, right, you take this little camera, 25 grams, it still flies like an absolute monster. I'm so excited about it. I gotta be done filming it though, because I need to make this video and upload it tonight, and I gotta send this drone off to the next tester. So thank you so much to Five33 for sending me the drone to play with and to test out. I'm sorry I absolutely suck at flying. I feel like I've let you down, but go check out the Tiny Trainer. It's just this perfect little machine for the purposes that we all have for it. Get out there, enjoy it, stay flying.